Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today afternoon news for Tuesday, January 30th. I am Marie-Claire Williams. There are reports of a significant improvement in safety records in the construction sector in the last 12 years. Labour Minister Dr Esther Byer-Suckoo says the number of on-site accidents has dropped from 104 in 2006 to 32 in 2017. She was addressing the launch of the Contractors Association's two-day site safety certification workshop this morning. However, Byer-Suckoo was cautiously optimistic about the numbers, as she says it is yet to be determined whether this was due to a lack of reporting or evidence of better safety practices.
In Barbados, between 2006 and 2017, the construction sector was ranked in the top 5 industrial divisions with the most accidents reported to the Labour Department. However, it has been observed that there has been a steady decline in the number of accidents reported since 2006. In 2006, 104 reports were received, accounting for 14% of all accidents. But in 2017, 32 were reported, representing approximately 7% of total reports. It's worth investigating, though, whether this is due to improvement in safety practices, a reduction of activity in the sector, or a lack of reporting.
Barbados and the rest of the Caribbean are being told that they will need strong and effective leadership if they are to tackle the social, environmental and economic issues they are now facing. Canada's High Commissioner to Barbados, Marie Legault, says the region is fraught with a number of challenges that do not seem to be going away. She told the 5th Technical Working Group meeting of the Caribbean Leadership Project that there is a need for improved leadership within the public sector.
To look at those problems that are facing the region and looking at a solution for them. Can be crime and security, there are issues in the region. It can be climate change, innovation, migration, transportation. It can be water and sewage problems that we know are an issue in the region. And we know that the region is never short on those challenges and those regional wicked problems. They will still be here because the region is very vulnerable to external shocks, climate change, and other things. So it is important to have a strong public sector that can tackle those issues, that can work together as a region, not in isolation, and that can have a strong network to go to and think together to find a solution.
The project began 12 years ago with the funding from the Canadian government. It was designed to help public sector executives to improve their leadership qualities through training. Chairman of the Caribbean Center for Development Administration, Alison Fort, says countries should accept that changes will not happen overnight.
There's evidence that countries are anxious to see the charter values embraced across the board, and projects and programs either introduced or expanded to deal with the pillars, elements, and priorities. We must regard transformation as more of a journey to reach new destinations than a single trip with a starting point and a destination. The journey will require leadership at all levels. Leadership also needs to be constantly evolving. Sometimes leadership evolves in response to change that has occurred, and at other times in anticipation of change. Strong and effective leadership in the public services across the region is a necessary condition for the social and economic development of the region.
Caribbean Aircraft Handling Services is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year with high praise from Tourism Minister Richard Seeley. Seeley told an awards ceremony last night that the company is an example of tourism operators doing their job quietly while providing an essential service to the country.
I've been the Minister of Tourism for 10 years, and when I get the opportunity to meet tourism players, I always make the point that you're on the front line of really feeding this nation. And it's always important to understand who really matters on the front line. And it is a fact that it's not ministers and chairmen of boards and general managers of hotels. It's people who are grinding out in the back room. And in many respects, Caribbean Aircraft Handling and its near 400 staff complement is a fine example of what I'm talking about. Providing what is needed for people to embark and disembark aircraft, and nobody even knows the amount of effort that goes in to allowing the planes to land and take off on time most of the time. And I think that we should therefore pause and reflect. So make no mistake about it, I'm here because I think if nothing else I have to make that point.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. A water shortage has hit one community in St. Lucia. Residents of Labourne say they have not had water in over 2 months. We get the details in this report from HTS News Force.
The residents say if water is truly life, then the water and sewage company WASCO must act with urgency to bring the precious commodity back to the community. Their concerns are many, and Norley is pleading for some empathy for the very young and the elderly.
Of my age, I could hardly walk to climb the hill up here to show the media the pain I have, and not me alone, everybody in the area. Of my age, I was not able to do it, but with God's help, I make it. I want to show Wasco, to tell him that problem he have us in. It is very, very, very hurting. We don't have water for months, and when the water comes, it comes, let's say 8 o'clock in the night, next morning no water at all. Okay? So I am appealing to Wasco right now, with all the people around me, not me alone. Please, Wasco, do something for us, because that situation you have us in, paying bills every day, and we're not getting water. That is not good at all, at all.
Norley says she has lodged numerous complaints with the company, both in person and via telephone. At her wit's end, she says she rallied neighbors and sought to get the nation's attention. An emotional Anne-Marie St. Luce says for those who call Labourne home, the water plight is a case of who feels it knows it.
Meanwhile, the water company WASCO has told residents that relief is coming soon. It says the current system can no longer meet the needs of the communities in the area because of a population growth.
We are now working on a pipeline in the community to increase the amount of water that would be disseminated to the different areas fed by the Hill 20 system. We would be feeding the Hill 20 system also from water from the Cicerone plant, the Feebles treatment plant. At present, this project is almost completed. When completed, it will drastically improve the situation in Babuno and the Labourne area.
And on the international scene, officials in Saudi Arabia say they have collected an estimated $106 billion in settlements following a corruption crackdown. The Attorney General Sheikh Al-Mojeb says 56 of the 381 people who were called in for questioning since November remain in custody. The others have been cleared or admitted guilt and handed over property, cash, securities, and other assets. While he did not name any of those involved, the list is said to include princes, ministers, and businessmen. That's news this afternoon. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and on Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Marie Claire Williams. Good afternoon.